guys, welcome to the channel. I'm excited because we are in Oman this time. I never visited Oman prior to this trip and it was really a very interesting visit. We will fly from Muscat to Paris with Oman Air in a 7879 in economy class. But not before we checking out from the Bustan Palace, a spectacular hotel here in Muscat. Welcome to the Frequent Business Traveler channel. Here we are at the Bustan Palace, a spectacular resort overlooking the Gulf of Oman and set against the Al-Hajjah mountains. The Bustan Palace opened in 1985 and was built as a palace for the Sultan to host the Gulf Cooperation Council Summit that year, and is now a hotel managed by Ritz-Carlton. It was certainly a pleasure staying here, but unfortunately it's now time to check out and head to the airport. But let's make sure to pass the lobby, which is pretty amazing. And guys, check out this lobby of the Bustan Palace. The lobby has a 38-meter high dome ceiling with a 5.5-ton chandelier. It's the first thing you see when you enter the hotel and it's really impressive. I can highly recommend to stay in this hotel, and in fact, I can highly recommend visiting Oman. I only saw a very small piece of it because I only stayed in the Muscat area. But unlike cities like Doha and Abu Dhabi, which try to become the second Dubai, Muscat, at least till now, tries to keep its own identity and isn't building huge skyscrapers and crazy buildings all over the place. Let's see though how Muscat will look like in another 10 years. Anyway, the rental car is waiting for me, so let's head to the airport. And I must say, driving in Muscat is really relaxed. I didn't see any aggressive driving during my stay, maybe also because there's speed cameras everywhere. Here we are at the International Airport of Muscat, and what's immediately clear is that it's pretty quiet and built for future growth. Like other Gulf states, also Oman will try to attract more transit passengers and tourists in the coming years. For now though, you can enjoy a relatively relaxed and quiet airport experience. My trip with Oman Air is in economy class. I booked my ticket with Flying Blue miles and I just didn't have enough miles for a business class ticket with miles. I naively thought that I would be able to upgrade at check-in, and even though there were still seats available in business class, I simply couldn't upgrade because I bought my ticket with miles. That was a bit disappointing, but at least I was able to get a front seat in economy, which costed me roughly an extra $100. While I'm making my way through the same kind of uniform tax-free shops you see everywhere, there is one thing which is really annoying me lately, and that's airports without a hassle-free wireless. Why do some airports require you to specify your phone number or require you to obtain a code from some stand somewhere, such as in Istanbul? I really hate it. Just give free wireless without all the hassle. What is refreshing is a little area with shops they created in the airport. It looks a bit like a traditional souk. Very nicely done, and at least it's a little bit different than what you see in all the other airports. What's also different and unique is the terminal with all the gates. Very cool, and it makes me anxious to see the Oman Air 7879 plane. Here is our plane, a 7879, and Oman Air has 7 7879s. And Oman Air uses 2 different configurations in their 7879 plane, and the one I'm flying today has 5 rows of business class in kind of a weird 2-2-2 configuration I haven't seen before, and 30 rows of economy class. Obviously row 20 is the best one, but again it comes with an extra cost of $100. Let's board the plane. Oh, and another point which I actually do like, jet bridges with windows. If air conditioned, I love it. Here we are, and check out these business class seats with the weird seat configuration next to the window. Anxious to try these out one time, but let's first try out what economy class is like. Obviously, being in the first row there's plenty of leg space, and on top of that the middle seat remained empty for the duration of the flight. The plane is pretty full, so I'm happy I paid a little bit extra for this front row. Except for the front row, the pitch of the seat in economy class is 31 inch, which is pretty much a standard you will find with most airlines. Being such a relatively small airport, it means we don't need to taxi for hours and there's no queue of 20 planes in front of us. Instead, we leave exactly at the planned departure time, and taxi is only a few minutes before we can take off. Let's check out the screen and entertainment selection. Screen is pretty big with a good resolution, and even though there is no live sports, something I got used to with Etihad and Emirates, the movies and TV selection is pretty good. Screen is also very responsive, so overall no complaints about the entertainment selection. For the meal service, crew came by with a drink and some chips. And these chips. Think about the most salty chips you can imagine and then multiply it by 10. These were incredibly salty. What about the food though? What's the food like with Oman Air in economy class? And here we're getting to an area I'm less positive about. Choice was chicken or pasta, what else? And a few pieces of chicken were hiding under the rice, and if you're able to find them, the chicken actually tasted okay, but the dish was incredibly dry. Overall, I would rate this below par. Just before landing, a small snack was handed out. I actually cannot describe what it was, but it was okay. One note about the service of the crew and availability of other snacks. In between the meal service, crew didn't come by with some more drinks or snacks. This is a flight of 7.5 hours, so you would expect that the crew would come by with at least some more drinks, especially considering the extremely salty chips they serve. That didn't happen though. I mostly saw the crew sitting together chatting in the back galley, which I visited frequently to get something to drink myself. I did ask if they had some other snacks, but they only had the dreaded chips. So, time for a conclusion. Is Oman Air worth considering or should you avoid them? Well, the economy class is nothing special. It's pretty average and I would rate their meals and overall service below par. Having said that, they did leave exactly on time and arrived at the gate before their planned arrival. And it's just another interesting alternative to check out besides Emirates, Qatar and Etihad. So if the price is right, there is no reason to avoid them. Guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And check out my video of my flight with this other Gulf carrier Emirates on the 777-300 in business class from Amsterdam to Dubai. Have a good one and I see you next time. Cheers!